Hey, social media peeps, welcome in to the First Call Plus. I'm going to call it First Call Golden Point because I think it's quite a cool name. Aidan Rodley's here, so Jason Tarn. Hope you boys have got your research done because we need some coin. We need some coin.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. I like that. Aidan, are you confident at all, or you've been busy booking jockeys, manager booking?
Sorry, should I put that down?
What gave it away? We're going to look at a couple of the rating 75s because obviously on the first call we've already looked at the feature races coming in from Awapuni and Te Rapa. First of those, race 4 at the Puni. This is over the 1,200 metres, even old field here, and the horse we'd probably highlight the most is a horse who found the line really well last start, and tell you what, I liked it last start. Jonathan Parks jumps on. Guys, when you look at this video, he is a horse who's ready to rock and roll.
Didn't have that much luck. It was a really good run. It's a massive jockey upgrade. The leading jockey going around in the Central Districts in Jonathan Parks for Alfred Chin. I think he's going to South Australia.
Joined Lloyd Kennewell, yeah.
Anyway, this
also,
is...
Fibonacci's in this race, runs 5th, by the way, too. But
And Yamania also in the race as well.
Very hard to miss that run for 3rd. I think only concern, gentlemen, potentially tempo. I mean, 1,200 metres if you're getting back again like that, but Jay Parks does help.
Yeah, definitely. Should get that. That awkward draw. It's going to have to get a few breaks and navigate around that final bend. I thought a horse in the race that represented a little bit of value is Yamania. We saw her there. She was given a nice run, but I think she can be positively ridden by Sam Weatherly and sit in a forward position on or outside of the lead. And if she can replicate what she did 3 starts ago behind Shadow Fox, I think $10 a good price.
She needs to improve on that run for sure, wouldn't you think? I thought Fibonacci's run was pretty good and he stuck really well in the race. It was a race that did sort of favour those on speed. Yamania, the closers in the race, Yamania and Fibonacci were both in speed, but I thought it stuck okay. The other horse that's got real interest for me here is Barcello. Another horse hasn't won in 3 starts fresh, but look at the form last preparation. Was second to Volpe
hard to find, isn't he? He's hard to find.
Beat Sweet Leader, beat Zhong Feng, was 5th in the Sarton Memorial, 2nd in the Trevor Eagle Memorial. It's got a tricky barrier draw, but that sort of form stacks it up in this race.
He's had 11 starts since he last won. I agree with you, but he's
hard to find.
He's a tricky horse.
No, it's the 4th on the card, race 5 on the cards, also rating 75 over the 1,550 metres. And some nice horses here, but I think there's a really good horse in this race. Eagle Bay looked big and strong and dumb and immature last time and kept getting in the wrong part of the track and being a bit immature. Came out last time and looked a different horse. I was really impressed. I know they were closing late, but it was still a good performance. We'll get to that in a sec. It's the favourite for the race. Staccato, though, has to carry the top weight, which is a big weight, but I thought it was very good at Ellerslie last start. Looked the winner for most of the straight, run down by a good horse.
I wondered whether he was going to be a little bit underestimated in the market, this horse Staccato. I'm not a massive fan of him overall. Like, he's a 6-year-old rising 7. He's going to be having his 54th start, so he's extremely well exposed. But in rating 75 company, he's going to run you a genuine enough race, I think.
Yeah, and behind him this day was Skywicker and Tawaiwai Bay.
Yeah,
they're saying something, so he's got to be a rough chance in the race. Like you say, Michael, Eagle Bay.
Eagle Bay for Aidan Schumacher. Here it is last time. This is fresh up, and last campaign was getting back and looked immature, had the blinkers on here. Probably was getting tired late, but fresh up, I think that's pretty fair, guys. This is a horse going to open class, I believe.
Undoubtedly. I think it's a group class horse in waiting. It was a very good win. Well, he's just got held up a little bit, about 300 metre mark, and hits the line well. A horse who's been really consistent on the way through, and I think as a 5-year-old's not too far away from firing. I don't mind the form out of this race, and I really like Eagle Bay as a horse.
The only thing I'd say about that is that it was completely controlled by Rosie Miles. She's ridden a couple of cracking races in recent weeks, sat on speed and managed to sprint home. All those things you say about his ability, I agree with, but he did get every favour sitting outside of the leader and dominating.
Here's dramatist Chris Johnson heads to Awapuni for a good book on Saturday, and second here on this occasion with dramatist. Also in this race with Flamingo, who's the number 10 tomorrow in race 5. So seconds and thirds behind a decent type of a horse. Adds to a really deep race, I thought.
The dramatist, it was the best race.
Good race to play in.
Quite some time. Used to be with David Green, and obviously now might have just started to spark a bit with Trudy Keegan, but hasn't won since September 2015. That's a long time between drinks, and I don't know whether he can keep on going with that. I think meets Flamingo 2.5 kilograms worse. Flamingo looks some sort of chance in the race. Tinkerlicious wasn't too bad either.
To me, this is all about how the first 400 metres of this race shakes out. Staccato, a pace influence. You'd expect Rosie Mize to be positive on Eagle Bay. I think the two horses that are really well drawn to get nice, soft runs in comparison to their recent starts, Hoist and Flamingo. They should be maybe 3 back at worst, maybe even a tad closer. So they'll get nice soft runs. They both can sprint well. So if things don't go well with Eagle Bay, if he doesn't get outside of the leader, for example, cheaply, then they'll be flashing at them late. They won't be flushed. I hope they're not flushed wide around that final bend. Just wait and sprint at them late and be right in the finish.
I've got them mapped. The trail for Hoist and Flamingo 3 back the fence from 1 and 2, with Staccato likely to cross them. Then you've got Coley going forward. I think the draws are a little bit problematic for Eagle Bay up there in 10. It just might be a little bit tricky for that horse. And the other one who's got a tricky draw is Tinkalicious, who's another horse who'd probably they'd try and ride a little bit positively, but yeah, the barrier draw might just indicate that.
Tarapa's the other meeting, of course, domestically on Saturday, and the rating 75 there, the 6th on the card for the Stayers, is a very intriguing race. Now, here's an unusual horse. Peso is a horse who over the winter was racing in amateur riders races, which is the wilderness of the racing world, but it has emerged from the wilderness and has a very informed Trudy Thornton on. As I said, it's hard to believe where this horse has come from, and it's up against a pretty smart horse in Kachi. We'll talk Peso first, though. It just seems to have improved a bunch.
Not quite Max Dynamite level,
No,
but
exactly right. Over the hurdles of Galway.
But this horse emerged at Rotorua and put in an outstanding performance to win back in October, and then back that up. And I think this third says that you can trust what he's doing. It's no fluke.
Yeah,
Sometimes we try to make excuses and say that there were circumstances that were fluky, but he's a genuinely good staying galloper, this horse.
Yeah, exactly. And the two have beaten him, are pretty handy horses, Magic Chai and the horse of
Nina Aurora, for
yeah,
sure.
of Nigel Tiley. So they're both okay horses. Excalibur, who Matt Cross has found for us, goes okay in behind, but there's no weight advantage that Excalibur's getting over Peso here, so that might not be so easy.
Kachi was very, very good last time out at Ellerslie, and on that occasion defied the Santa's hat curse. Look, it's still in the anoms for the Avondale Cup. To get in the Avondale Cup on New Year's Day, it's going to need to win this, fellas, but
Yes.
it's got more upside than most.
They have to be winning this race, essentially.
It's good to hear, though. Like the last 100, very strong. Beautiful ride, by the way.
Exactly. And look, what she has done is she's run past a horse in Lady Shabelle, who has a very good closing section on her as well. At Rotorua, she came from the clouds, Lady Shabelle. She's a decent galloper in her own right. So over a mile, for her to run past Lady Shabelle, to me, has a lot of merit. And, you know, she races like Groundle Suit. I think she is a very promising
If you missed the first call earlier, Chris Gibbs, co-trainer, did say this is their horse to follow for the holiday period. And Aidan, pretty hard to miss that one.
Hard to beat in this race. The stablemate coming through has got some sort of chance in the race as well. And the other horse I gave a little bit of a push for was Tawaiwai Bay, who was terrific last time out. That form seems to be stacking up okay as well. But yeah, Kachi's a horse.
The last of our rating 75s is the X-Side Group over 1500, last race on the shortened card, the Tarapa. And even old Market Legramore has the breeding and the ability, 3.2. I think Aidan, it finds itself in the right race, but another horse who finally last time lived up to the potential was Repeat. I like this performance, another one for Danielle Johnson. Came wide and hit the line really, really strongly in the Young's colours.
Yeah, it was put on just the way this race sort of panned out, but the performance was very good. She seems like she's pretty progressive. The run before had been a good one, and behind Neeson in a really competitive race. But yeah, she did it really nicely here, and there's no reason why she can't be.
But you actually like Legramore.
I'm a big fan of Legramore. Have been the whole way through, and I think from her run in behind Shadows, which are pretty similar to that run of Neeson's, it was very similar races. You'd expect, if Repeat's coming out of that race and winning this, then I was expecting much the same from Legramore. The concern here, Jason, is that there's just no speed in the race. Prince Mamba, they tried to be positive last time. I don't know whether he's quite sparked up like he used to be, though. He does appear to be one speed influence. That's for sure. Was pretty good this day. Gets home track advantage. What'd you make of this run?
Gets a better draw. She's been a little bit funny away from the gate. She has been missing it. But if she can find a spot with cover, then she can finish off well enough. She comes into it well rated. I think you touch on something that I think is very significant in the race. The lack of speed, and therefore Prince Mambo having an opportunity to find the front and roll along. 2 wins come in rating 75 grade, so that's the grade that he finds himself on Saturday. And you look at it and you go, well, how can you be considering backing this horse? Well, I actually thought you'd get about $10 or $11, and bookmakers have him half that price. So
He's done this before though, hasn't
That's
he? He's
right.
dropped back into this grade. But he did get to lead in a slowly run race last time. He just seemed to lack that spark. I know he's back in grade this time round, but that means he's up to 60
I
kilograms.
literally can't see one horse that maybe, I can't see a horse that's going to pressure him. I think, from that draw, if he jumps fairly with them, then Sam Collett no doubt will push forward.
Sam is riding extremely
Her
well.
judgment of paces, I think, improved beyond what I've ever seen from her, and her wantedness and acceptance to actually put horses into a
Yeah, it's
race
great.
on these good tracks in a place which is obviously being in front's the best place to be. She's putting them in the race and making it very hard for others to get past her. Her timing's really in, and I think it'll be in with Prince Mambo.
Jason Tan just used the word wantonness, which means we cannot go any higher up the vocabulary that we have for that
Was it a
word there.
word?
There's no point continuing this anymore. You punt well, drive safe, have a great Christmas. Gentlemen, it's been a lot of fun. Looking forward, of course, I'm sure both of you to Boxing Day. It's going to be absolutely massive out there at Ellerslie.
Yeah, can't wait. It's one of my favourite days of the year.
Yeah, best of the season to both of your families as well and everyone else.
See your social media people. Have a Merry Christmas.